is up, YouTube? 5'8" Dunker vertical trainer Andy Lloyd here from Skigh Athletics, and today I am going to walk you guys through a workout that if you feel like you're overtraining, if you feel like your quads or your knees might be giving out on some of your jumps, you're not as explosive as you'd like to be, this is a workout that you can do, that you can take with you, go to the gym, follow the set and rep count, and you will feel no pain, maybe a little bit of tension on the quad, but nothing that's crazy unhealthy to the point where it would push you away from doing the exercises. It's one of those, sort of hurts, but feels good type of things. That's how I view my workouts. I thoroughly enjoy my workouts, and I like training through injuries, but not to the point that I am going to consider it detrimental to my future health of that specific muscle and to myself. For now, let's get right into it. So one thing I can't show you is the first 7.5 minutes that I spent on the Stairmaster. That was more me focusing on getting up on my toes, getting a little bit of that knee over toe action just to get warmed up, and again, just physically moving, but not having to go out and run. Even though sprinting does not hurt at all, it does help. But the first hour of my workout I spend with my sister, so I try to do things that I can incorporate with her that she would, I guess, enjoy doing as part of her workout, and sprinting wasn't on the list for her today. So 7.5 minutes on the Stairmaster at a moderate level. And then after that, this is when the videos will start. I did 5 total supersets of this, and you can see during the exercises, you can count it out. I start out with alternating cross-loaded oblique focused med ball throws. Now, you could do this with a wall. At the gym that I go to, I'm actually out on the balcony doing this. Or you could throw it, go chase it, and then do it again, throw it back to your starting point if you have a yard that you can work with. I go right into an upper core exercise where I'm gonna throw down this same medicine ball. This is around 20 pounds, and it's light, but it's heavy at the same time, especially after 4 or 5 sets. You really start to feel it. Again, trying to be explosive. If you think about your vertical, just think that your body is a spring. So if you think of your body as a spring, the wind down is just as, if not more important, than the wind up. So we want to be quick down so that we can make our body into a spring and pop back up. That's why we train quick twitch explosive. And the last one is going to just be laying on your back and doing some low abs. I believe I do 8 reps for this exercise. And again, all of that done in one superset. By how much I talked, I might run through this twice. If not, we'll figure it out. But those are the 3 exercises. Again, a superset means that you're going to do all 3 of those workouts with no break, just like I did in the video. Again, this is just one take. And then you take about a 2-minute break, get your breath back, restart it all over, 5 total sets. And again, everything done in one, all 3 of those exercises done in one giant superset. And then you take 2 to 3 minutes before you go and do another superset of those same 3 exercises, 5 total times. After that, did 3 minutes on one of those not Olympic bikes, but one of those like Tour de France sort of stationary bikes, not one where you're sitting back, leaning back, putting on Netflix or anything like that. So again, focusing on staying upright, shoulders back. And then for 10 minutes, I did 10-second sprints, resting for 50 seconds, and then back to 10-second sprints. During those 10 seconds, I put the resistance up as high as I possibly can, and I just churn it out for 10 seconds. So normally, let's say if I'm gonna start after the 3-minute warm-up, at 3 minutes, I'm going to start my 10-second sprint. If I wanna turn up the resistance, I have to start 5 seconds before it gets to 3 minutes. So at 2:55, I'm turning it up as high as I possibly can because it takes some time for that resistance to kick in, so that for those 10 seconds, I'm fully sprinting at a full resistance. I go through the finish line, and then I turn it down, and then I wait my 50 seconds. I keep pedaling for those 50 seconds, and then I restart with the 10-second sprint. So to get those full 10 seconds, just remember, don't cheat yourself. Start that resistance, start boosting that resistance. If it's a button, hit the button. If it's a lever, put the lever up. 10 full seconds of great resistance, a full sprint, give it everything you got, and then breathe for 50 seconds, go a lot slower. There's a huge bird that just flew by in my backyard. So sorry, I'm new to this Florida thing. All right, so we'll start the recording. Again, this is called the Garland pose. I do 5 sets of 1 minute for each stretch. So it's very simple. You kind of just squat like a baby. You try to squat like a baby, and you want to use your elbows to push your knees out. This is going to stretch your ankles. So it's going to increase your ankle flexibility, ankle mobility. It's going to stretch your low back even up towards your thoracic. It's going to stretch the groin, the hip flexors, those trouble muscles as a dunker, the ones that get really tight. And for the secondary muscles that they'll stretch, it'll also hit your quads and your hamstrings. So overall, it's great. Just look at how I am, where I am trying to stay upright, keeping my shoulders pinched back, and I'm trying to press my heels to the ground. I'm really focusing on trying to press my heels to the ground to the point where I don't have anything underneath my heels. A lot of people like to place something under their heels so they feel some sort of balance, but I really want to get my ankle flexibility up, so I don't put anything underneath my heels. You can if you'd like to. So I do that for 5 sets of 1 minute. In between that, as a superset, I will also do the cobra pose, otherwise known as the upward facing dog. I will extend my toes. My quadriceps and my hamstrings are flexed. My quadriceps are also still touching the ground. So they remain engaged and flexed even though they're on the ground. My core is tight and engaged. You'll notice that I'm trying to breathe out so I can flex those muscles. And again, pinched shoulder blades, pressing those palms into the ground so I can pinch those shoulder blades back, stay upright. I want to have a long neck and I want to look straight ahead. You'll feel this from your chin down to your toes. It is an excellent stretch, even a great way to start the day. Releases some stress for me. I can just breathe through it. And I also go right into the child pose, as you may have already seen. Again, I'll be running these 2 or 3 times for how much I'm going to talk about them, better than looking at those than my face. So for the child's pose, you just collapse, you extend your shoulders forward. I like to just go straight from the cobra pose, as you can see, right to the child's pose. And this is a great upper thoracic stretch. I feel it in my low back as well. And again, even for those hip flexors, as my toes remain extended, I just kind of sit back in this pose, breathe, and then I restart it all by either going back to the cobra pose and then the garland pose, or restarting by doing it all over again, starting with the garland pose to the cobra to the child's pose. Again, feels great on the quadricep. The next one is going to be heightened lunges. So I want to get a little bit of a knee over toe action. I'm going very, very slow with this, and I am exaggerating the lunge. So I'm doing both legs. You'll see I do, I believe, 8 for one leg and 8 for the next leg immediately afterwards. You can do this with no weight, but again, we want that knee over the toe action, and I'm going to superset it with another knee over toe exercise where this is mainly for the knee joint, to get it loose, to make sure that we remind it there are going to be some times during the sport that I play that I'm going to have to go knee over toe. So I'm doing a lot of mind to muscle during this, saying that it may not feel 100% comfortable, but I can adjust the box to how I need so that it does feel comfortable, so that I can strengthen up that knee, so that when I do make a cut or when I go to jump and I do have some knee over toe action, I'm not straining my knee, I'm not straining that specific quadricep muscle, because again, the quads are made up of 4 different muscles and they're very important in sprinting and in jumping. So the more that I can train them without any pain, the more that'll transfer over to when I'm actually trying to make an in-game action, or to when I go to jump and it's not 100% my style of court that I like. There's some gravel, but it'll still allow me to reach my maximum vertical potential because I'm doing these exercises. And for another superset that you can add to what I've already been doing, I just had to change the angle of the camera. I'm gonna go with my knee over my toe. I have a very small jumping plyometric box. You can use the curb outside in your front yard. You could use a step. And I am going to plant one of my feet into the ground, and I'm going to straighten out that leg. I am then going to bring my other foot right in front of me, and I am just going to keep the heel that's down and already on the mat on the ground, okay? I don't want to come up and just come up on my toe, but I do want to extend downward, straight down to the point where my knee is going over my toe. I am only going to go as low as my quad and my knee will allow me. Once you start to feel a little pull, you want to come back up and just work at that range of motion that makes you feel comfortable. Again, this is all a process. Nothing happens overnight. Some of these stretches, as you may notice, I got from ATG. They're located actually in Florida, and I love to meet up with them. So if you recognize any of them, this is what I've been just incorporating into my workout literally as of this week, as I'm dealing with some swollen joints and muscles from the chemotherapy that I've been on. Another one that I like to do is the sissy squat, otherwise known as the knee over toe squat. Again, we're emphasizing ankle mobility and flexibility, along with a little bit of ankle strength building as well. So I have my heels up on these mats that they have if you want to deadlift. They're at my YMCA. If not, I would have just used a 25-pound plate, and I put my heels up on the plate. In this situation, I put it up on the mat, and I'm going to squat for sets of 10. I did not put any weight on this bar, and I did 5 sets of 10 reps for each set, and it felt great. I felt no strain on my quad. I felt a lot of great tension in my quad as well, even in the part that's been hurting, but it wasn't an achy pain. I just knew that it was there, and I was going to put 10s or 25s on the sides, but it wasn't worth fighting my ego versus trying to recover 100%. So I was very smart today, went through the reps, didn't just go through the motions and try to throw weight on. It was a very good recovery and rehab day, but I also got a crazy good workout as well. And again, I use 45 pounds. That's what the bar weighs. But if you want to do this at home, you can go to the edge of your driveway if it has that little dip, and you can do the exact same thing. You could stack 2 or 3 books under your heels, depending on how big the book is, and you can do the exact same workout without any weights and still get the same feeling. And this last workout that I love to finish on, to loosen up the knees, to make sure that my quads are burned out, but in a good way. I put 30 pounds on the quadricep extension machine, which I mainly use this for. I'm going to keep my leg straight. So that's what the quadricep is responsible for, is for keeping that leg straight. And I only use 30 pounds. Mind you, I could do the highest setting for 10 reps with both legs. So again, I'm keeping it light, but I'm going for time here. So you'll notice that I keep counting with my hands, depending on where the video is, but every 15 seconds, I switch the angle of my foot. So at first I start with my foot just pointing straight up towards the sky. After those 15 seconds, I keep my quadricep straight, I keep my leg extended. I'm just gonna turn my foot 45 degrees inward, and then after that 15 seconds, I'm gonna turn my foot, again, compared to it being straight up, I'm going to turn it out. This is just going to allow you to hit different parts of the quadricep. Again, like I mentioned earlier, your quadricep is made up of 4 different major muscles, so we want to hit all those spots. Again, all of these lifts are specifically designed for days where I want to have a complete rehab and recovery day where I don't want to throw up heavy weight. I'd love to walk in. My quad felt great today, and I wanted to go and just squat and just max out squat so I can edit that last video that I just made of my most recent max outs while on chemotherapy. But it was better to get through this type of a workout because the rehab and the recovery that I'll get from it and how great I'll feel because of it is 10 times more worth me walking into the gym, throwing up a bunch of weight, and coming home and complaining on YouTube about an achy quad. Workouts like this are going to be the ones that keep me going longer. By longer, I mean longer dunk sessions. And it's going to keep me dunking until, I'm 35, 37, because I've learned these things. So let me know what you guys think about the workout. This is more of a rehab and recovery type of leg day for me. I will be posting more upper and lower body workouts throughout the the weeks, throughout the days, and even some quad. I was going to say quad. And I'll even be posting some ab workouts and some dunk training when I feel ready. Wednesday will just be strictly a pool day, so I'm gonna go swimming, but I'm gonna mainly go into this recovery pool that they keep at my gym. They keep it 85 degrees all the time, and it's shaded. As you guys can see, I thought there was something wrong with the camera. It's really just for how pale I am. So I appreciate you guys watching. Let me know what you think of this video. I know I made this one a little bit longer. I'll try to cut the time. So thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share if you feel like it'll help somebody else. Talk to you guys soon.